Thank you letters. Should you send a thank you letter after your interview? Well, the purpose of a thank you letter was originally exactly that. Thank you. But the unintended benefit was that you put yourself in front of the client one more time, put yourself in front of the employer one more time. You're a reminder. Now, the history of thank you letters is you mailed them, 100 years ago. You mailed them 10 years ago. And because they got there a few days after the interview, it was one last reminder for the firm that was hesitating. Now, these days, it doesn't really work to mail a thank you letter. It's really about an email and when and if you should send it. Now, one of the advantages of a thank you letter is that it communicates interest. You're willing to go an extra step and express that and have a selling opportunity. And that's really the key. If all you're going to do is send a thank you letter that says, just wanted to thank you for making time today. I believe I have great qualifications for the role. I look forward to hearing from you about the next steps. That's not a useful letter because it really does nothing to sell yourself as being the solution to a problem. But if you sell yourself in this way, I want to thank you for making time today. I was thinking about our conversation and I want to drive home a couple of points with you. And then you start selling yourself in the context of your qualifications for the role. If you start promoting yourself and your capabilities to solve the problem, my mind has really been racing since our conversation, thinking about different ways I could contribute. I was wondering if we might be able to get together next week for another conversation, another interview, and I could discuss some of those thoughts that I've had. That's a useful thank you letter. That works for certain types of positions. However, if you're an administrative assistant, if you're in a role like in customer service, you stick with the enthusiasm approach and reinforce that you're qualified to do the job. So, for example, call center. Thanks for making time to speak with me today. I just wanted to let you know how interested I am, and I want to drive home a couple of points with you. And then you list some things that might be in your resume. I handle 15% more calls than the typical call center person without escalation. Or if you're an accountant, I have yet to miss a deadline in my time with my firm. And I've helped my organization save X amount of money by doing such and such. And I'm the kind of person who thinks after hours about ways to improve operations, on and on and on. You start emphasizing some additional qualities of yourself that may have surfaced in the interview, but may not have surfaced in the interview, that really allow you to differentiate yourself from others. You have a lot of enthusiasm for this kind of work. Would it be possible for the conversation to continue next Tuesday? So that becomes a way that you're making a suggestion. And if they don't respond in a timely way, there's a message to it. The message is they may not be interested or they may not be ready to move forward. Remember, it's one of those two, because if they're excited, they leap all over it. So remember, it doesn't mean that they're not interested, but it could mean that they're not interested. And it could also mean that they're not ready. They have other people on the agenda to meet with. So thank you letters go a long way if you think of them as another sales document. If you think of them as a thank you, then they're really crap. Now, one more thing. They used to be mailed. You can't mail them anymore because they don't get there at any time that's useful for them because they've already made a decision by then. These are faster times than 10, 15 years ago. And as a result, you have to send it out the next day at the very latest. So if you had a 9 a.m. interview, it's got to go out by 9 the next morning. If you've had a 5 o'clock interview, it should really go out by noon the next day. Again, not 24 hours, but it's still the idea that you're excited because that communicates excitement. You've been thinking about it. You wanted to reinforce or drive home some of the things that you said in the meeting, or based upon what they said, you start thinking about. You get the idea. So again, use thank you letters as a sales tool. They will help you. Are they a guarantee that you're going to get hired? Of course not. But they certainly can separate you from the person who doesn't do anything, who doesn't want to communicate interest. And one of the reasons is employers, when they get to the point of deciding to make an offer, they want that offer to be accepted. And they see someone who is excited as being someone that will join them versus the one who's cool and detached and may have great skills, but is less interested. And it's embarrassing to a manager to extend an offer that gets turned down. So get your offer, get your thank you letter out and start racking up some points that support you in your candidacy. I'm Jeff Altman. I hope you find this helpful. And my website is thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot there you can watch, listen to, or read to help you find work. And I also want to mention there's a couple of ways I can help you because, that's generic information, just like this is generic information. You may have things that need to be personalized for you. So if you have questions about job hunting, when you visit my website, again, that's thebiggamehunter.us, there's a tab that says have your job search questions answered. Maybe you've been out there looking for a while and you're just not clicking. Consider ordering a job search makeover from me. And what I do is I deconstruct everything that you've been doing in your job search and start making recommendations for how to do things differently. Your resume, your cover letters, your LinkedIn profiles, what you're doing to network, market yourself, and the like. So again, that's a job search makeover. Lastly, I coach. You can order a single session with me or a 4-pack. Or you can just do monthly coaching with me, where for a flat fee, you're able to get a lot of time from me over the course of the month. Normally, I'll schedule 4 45-minute sessions with you, but if you need me between calls, I'm available for you. So again, there's information on my website about all these services. So hope you have a great day, and I hope you found this helpful. Take care.